Hi, I am Nicky Clements, and I used to make stuff like this. As you can guess, in this house, it's not a good idea to leave food unattended. There's a good chance it's gonna go missing on you. Now most of the time that's not a big deal for us, but say there's some frozen meat we want to thaw. We don't really have a good place to put it where it's not gonna disappear. So I came up with this, just a shelf-mounted basket. You just pull it out, toss your frozen goods in, slide it back, and it's safe from any four-legged creatures that might want to get their paws on it. Now it's super simple, but really functional, so let's go throw it together. With a simple basket that I got from the dollar store, I start by wheeling my table saw out of the shed. Now most of this project is going to be made from scrap, so I'm just starting out here by scoring up a chunk of 2x4, just removing the rounded edge. And then proceeding to cut it in half. With those in half, it's time to cut them to length, and for that I'm going to use my chop saw. Using the basket itself as the reference to make sure everything fits to size, I cut the two boards to length. Again, using another scrap of wood. Cutting the board partway through, then backing out, flipping it over, and then cutting it the rest of the way through. Again, just checking to make sure that it's going to be wide enough. And then cutting this piece in half as well. Now instead of setting up the chop saw again, I'm just going to cross-cut these on the table saw. Moving on, cutting out a larger board that I can attach my runners to. Now doing a quick assembly, just making sure everything's scaled right. Applying some glue, pressing down on the brush to break off some old glue. This is a silicone brush, so you can use it over and over and just break off the dried glue the next time you want to use it. Now I'm attaching this smaller board to the larger board, which will create a lip, essentially making a runner. And then attaching it with some brad nails. Wiping off the glue squeeze out with a damp towel, and repeating the same process for the second runner. Now the camera cut off as I was attaching these to the base, but as you can see I'm very accurately reenacting how it went when I air nailed these to the base. But with those runners attached, you can see we're basically already there. We have a really good fit with the basket, but I want to add a stop lock so it only pushes in so far. Gluing and brad nailing that in place as well. Finally, I want to add some standoffs. This will allow me to attach it into the recess under the cabinet, as well as give me a larger chunk of wood to screw it into, attaching it to the bottom of the shelf. Again, just using scrap wood to make these. applying some glue and then carefully flipping it over so I can nail it in from the other side. And once again, just wiping off some excess glue. And now, all that's left to do is install it. Holding it up in place where it's going to go, and it appears to be a really good fit. I just guessed the exact perfect amount. Clearing out the cabinet a bit so I have some room to work. And then marking where I need to drill some holes. Now before screwing it in place, I want to pre-drill the holes so I don't risk cracking the wood. And finally I can secure it in place. Except I was impatient and I didn't wait for the glue to dry. And brads really have very little holding power. So I just pushed that board back on and proceeded to more securely attach them with some screws. Now to secure it in place. And now that thing's not going anywhere. Perfect. Okay, so a thawing basket. Now I know nothing groundbreaking happened here, and it might not have even been all that interesting, but again, this thing is super functional. We've been using it all the time since I put it in, and sometimes things like that make for the best projects. Now I know it might not look the best, and there's certainly tons you could do to make it look better and tie it in with the kitchen more, but at some point I'd really like to gut our entire kitchen and just put in an entire new one. So things like that can be incorporated into that new design. So right now is a great time to just prototype all the things we'd like to see in the new kitchen. You know, every woodworker has to do their utensil drawer, and ours definitely needs an upgrade. And I definitely want to do something with our medicine cabinet. We keep them in the kitchen, and right now it's just kind of abysmal. We just have everything in bins, and it's not good, especially when you need to get something. And for that, I'm thinking about using iBuildit's vertical cabinet concept that he uses in his workshop. I think something like that would translate really well to a medicine cabinet. But until then, my sincere thank you for watching. Once again, I am Nick D. Clements. If you're wondering, Nick is short for Nicholas and the D stands for Drake. Anyway, I'm off to make something else.